I love it. Wow, what a view. Okay, so we're going to spend 5 minutes here. We're going to do a little masterclass on the priorities of survival, what to do if you find yourself in a disaster situation, and then we're going to talk about what to do if you're lost. People get very scared about getting lost, even on little hikes into canyons or wherever it is, national parks. People have a real fear of what to do if they get disorientated, can't find their way back. First of all, the big mistake most people make in a survival situation is that they go on blindly, driven by panic, driven by fear, and when we're driven by fear and panic, we make irrational decisions, and so often people who find themselves in a difficult situation, they make that difficult situation much worse by a few early bad decisions. So having clear priorities about what you do if you find yourself in a difficult situation helps to give you somewhere to go. And here are the priorities. Number 1, protection. Number 2, rescue. Number 3, water. Number 4, food. I remember it with this. Please remember what's first. Protection, rescue, water, food. Number 1, protection. What does that mean? It means the first thing you do in a difficult situation is make sure you protect yourself. And that covers everything from, if you're in the heat of a desert, what are you protecting yourself from? The heat of the sun. So you've got to get into the shade. If you're in somewhere like this, a climate that gets very, very sub-zero in winter, I'm in Iceland at the moment. If you're stranded, what's your number 1 priority? Protection from the sub-zero temperatures. Dig a snow cave, get out of the wind, get out of the rain. Number 2 priority is rescue. What that means is you've got to set yourself up for rescue. You want people to know that you are needing help. You know, it's no good just protecting yourself from the bad weather, digging yourself into a snow cave, and then it snows and the big snow drifts and nobody knows where to find you. So rescue means making yourself visible. There are loads of different ways of doing that. Big markers in the sand saying SOS. Big bright object pinned out. You know, maybe you're snowmobiling and you got lost and you have to dig a cave. Put a ski up or something that's going to be above the snow level when it snows. Tell people where you are. Set yourself up for rescue. Maybe in a desert island, it's building a signal fire that's ready. It's got dry tinder and kindling and wood and green stuff in the smoke, ready to go. So we've got protection, we've got rescue, and then we've got water. Obviously, water comes ahead of food. You know, if you're in a survival situation, go hungry, conserve water. When you're eating, you're using up a lot of fluids in your body and you're going to dehydrate fast. Small drop in your hydration levels results in a massive dip in performance. So you've got to stay hydrated. Don't just drink any old water. Remember, clear water isn't clean water. You might look at this and think it's pristine to drink, but actually I know loads and loads of stories of people drinking from streams and rivers and waterfalls from the mountains, and they don't realise there's dead sheep upstream. They get sick, then they've got diarrhea, and they're vomiting. Now they're more dehydrated. So clean the water by boiling it is the best way of making sure that your water is drinking. And then finally, food. And again, the thing about food and survival, if you've reached that level of your priorities, you're into surviving for the long haul. And if that is the case, become a forager rather than a hunter. You want to survive on berries and roots and worms and grubs rather than trying to hunt deer that in reality is going to use up a lot of energy, it's going to increase your risk level, and even if you are successful, you're going to struggle to eat that amount of food in one go. So then there's the smoking meat and all of that, but which is a good thing, but really it's a secondary thing. You want to survive by food, by the little stuff. Remember our ancestors, foragers first, and then the big things like game and deer and stuff were for the high days and the fiesta time. So there you go, there's your priorities: protection, rescue, water, food. Please remember what's first. And those priorities cover everything, whether you're lost in the jungle, a desert, a mountain or in some sort of natural disaster. The priorities stay the same. You get those ingrained inside, then when you need it in a crisis time, you'll be good. I said I'd finish by talking about what to do if you're lost. Here's the thing. If you get lost, go back to your priorities of survival. Same thing. Protection, rescue, water, food. So here are a few tips for if you are lost. Number one, stop. S-T-O-P stands for stop. T stands for take your time. O stands for observe. And P stands for come up with a plan. Most people get in trouble. I said earlier they charge on and they make a bad situation worse. So if you're lost, take stock. Just stop. Think about it. Observe where you are. Where was that river meant to be? What was that mountain? Was it on my left or was it on my right? How far have I travelled? I've been walking for half an hour. I can't have gone more than 2 kilometres. Think. Just stop and think. And often then you'll go, oh, cool, hold on, I missed that turning, or the mountain being on that side, I walked the wrong way. And then you can rectify a small mistake and sort yourself out. Good tips. When you're moving along, you're on the path, every now and again look behind you. Because things look different when you're trying to retrace your steps. And if you are lost, one of the first things you want to do is retrace your steps. But getting familiar with what it looks like when you turn around is important. If you know you're going to terrain where it's difficult to find your way, maybe leave little cairns, little piles of pebbles or rocks as you move. So again, you're making that retracing of your steps easier. In a jungle, maybe you break a branch in an unnatural way. Maybe you lay out some sticks as an arrow to show the direction you went at key junctions. Little things like that. You're always planning ahead. But ultimately, the best bit of advice I always had to give in the military is when we're in the mountains and we're really lost, always head downhill. Head downhill until you find a little stream. Follow that stream until it becomes a river. Follow the river until you find civilization. People tend to live near the coast and on rivers close to the water source. So if you're lost downhill, find a trickle of a stream, follow it till it gets bigger, until it becomes a river, and follow the river until you find people. And we always used to, in the old days, we'd have to carry a little 10p little coin, gaffer taped on the inside of our notebook, because when we reached civilization and we followed that stream, found the river, and then eventually found a path or a road, we had to follow that until we found a phone box. And then we had to call the sergeant. The sergeant then say, we're lost, come and help us. So there you go, I hope these little tips have helped you. And if you're on mute at this stage, at least you'll have an amazing view for 5 minutes. Iceland at its most spectacular. But a little few tips on how to stay alive, priorities of survival, and how to find your way back.